Hey guys, welcome to episode number 52 of OG Toys Emoji. Today we're going to take a look at two of the initial figures that I purchased years ago from the Play Art Kai series. They're from Devil May Cry 4. We got Dante and Nero. Now both these figures came out probably about 2 years ago, at least. And if you're lucky, you might be able to find them in comic shops. Probably not. eBay's probably going to be your best bet if you want to snag these guys. And they are definitely worthwhile to purchase. Both these figures are about the 9-inch scale, a little taller than your average figure from the Player Kai figure series. Except when you're talking about the Metal Gear Solid figures, those are giant figures. But these guys definitely have some very unique properties. If you have any interest in Devil May Cry, the video games, check them out in the HD reboot that relaunched the trilogy. Devil May Cry 4 is probably dirt cheap at your local EB Games or GameStop. And there are actually some pretty cool gameplay mechanics. And the figures themselves, man, they totally rock. You know, you can catch Dante in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom number 3, or Ultimate Capcom, or Marvel vs. Capcom 3, excuse me. He's an awesome character in that video game series. And these figures definitely do these great fictional characters some justice. So let's start off with the main man, Dante. Let's just get Nero out of the way here. All right, so Dante, one of the iconic guys that Capcom has produced and established into the video game industry. Unfortunately, we haven't seen him in his own solo game in quite some time. There's a new Devil May Cry series coming out. I'm sure it's gonna be expanded a series called DMC. Has a totally new character by the looks of things. I haven't delved very far into the trailers or anything like that. Just when I saw the first character, wasn't impressed. Didn't look like Dante whatsoever. I don't know if this is a brand new character, but he's got a short black haircut. It looks like he's got like a fur coat of some kind. It just looks really crappy. But if Dante's a playable skin or something like that, I might pick it up. But not looking too impressive in my opinion. Maybe the action will be cool. Maybe I'll pick it up a little later when it's on discount or something. But this is Devil May Cry in my opinion, and this is the soul and heart and soul of that franchise, Dante. Now let's take a look at some of the cool sculpting he has. It has this massive sword, like massive, and it's got some very cool details. He has a skull there, he got some bones sticking out, and he does have a peg on the back, which is cool because it's attached onto his back. Pretty plain, just a silver color. It does have a bit of bend into it. It's not gonna break if you drop it or anything like that. And he does come with ebony and ivory. Those are his two handguns he used throughout the entire game. And what's really cool, they did some great detail on this gun. The nice brown handle. Just some really excellent sculpting. And what's awesome, I'll show you this other gun, excuse me. Check it out. It's in black, but in gold lettering, it has ebony and ivory. I really think that's cool. A nice little touch that they threw in. Again, it has a little peg there, so it does go into his hand pretty good. Now, let's take a closer look at the figure. Now, the figure does have two extra hands, and he has two closed fists, just like that. Now, the figure sculpt is pretty amazing. Let's take a look at the face. Does have a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow going on, little goatee. He's got the white hair and the leather. He's got like a faux leather look. Well, I guess it would be a leather look on his coat. And it just, wow. He's got these dark patches up on his shoulders as well. He's got the bright red. And he's got the chaps. He's got the cowboy boots. Like, just incredible amount of detail they put into this figure. It's one of the nicest sculpts I've seen. And of course, look at the detail on that jacket. He does have these gold little studs here. And what's cool, this is just a peg, very similar to what you see on Cloud Strife from the Final Fantasy figures. You just pop that in, you attach the peg onto the sword, and boom. It's on nice and secure. It ain't coming off. It's not loose whatsoever. Really nice little feature they added on, and it does come out with a bit of ease. The guns look great. Unfortunately, his hands totally suck. He can't hold the guns very well. He does have this extra little peg in his hand. You can see right there. But unfortunately, they're bent upwards, and this is just right out of the package. He doesn't hold his guns very well, so I'll just show you here the best you can get it into any kind of positioning. You know, just won't go in, and I'm almost tempted to cut those little pieces off because it's just such a pain in the ass to try and get this in. Or I might swap out his hands with some other character's hands. I don't know. But unfortunately, he doesn't hold his guns very well, and it sucks. Well, anyways, the figure itself, the articulation, let's take a look at that. It does have a good ball jointed head, pretty good range of motion going up and down. He does have articulation in his chest, right there. He's got a full 360 ball joint. He's got a little bit of movement in his waist, not an awful lot. It's very tight. He does have ball jointed shoulders, really good range of motion too. The jacket doesn't impede it whatsoever. He does have ball joint and swivel in the elbow, and he's got a cut hidden, but it's fold in his jacket too, which is very nicely done. He does have full 360 on the hands. The hands do come off. You can pop them off very easily too. And the pants, now, that's as far up as it goes. He does have a bit of a range problem because of this extra folded part on his crotch and his jeans, but that's as far as it can go. He does have not too bad knee articulation, and he does have a ball joint in his ankle as well. Now, his articulation isn't the best, okay? I'll definitely give you that. The hands really suck, but the sculpt is absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the nicest, clean, just aesthetic, pleasing sculpts I've seen out of the Player Kai series. He just looks like the video game character. Like, they do such a good job on these figures. And these figures, I remember I paid maybe $30, $39 a figure. Is my personal, when I used to live in Toronto, at I remember a collector store that gave some really crazy pricing on some of the stuff that's been there for a little bit of time. But you know what? It's just such an awesome figure. He looks fantastic. Let's just see if this actually goes up, and there we go. So, absolutely fantastic except for those hands. The hands absolutely suck. If you have any other of these Player Kai figures, they do come with extra hands, and I'm probably going to swap these ones out with some other figure. That's the only downfall. So if you definitely want an awesome Devil May Cry Dante, pick him up, swap out the hands. That's the only issue that this figure has. Otherwise, phenomenal. Now let's take a closer look at Nero. Now Nero, I think, was supposed to be maybe the next guy to carry the torch for the video game series. Don't know if the game was really received very well. I thought it was pretty cool. I had a fun time playing it. But aesthetically, it's kind of like a more modern version of Dante. You know, he's got the same white hair, he's got the cool jacket, the gun, the sword, and there's some cool aspects about this character in the video game. He's got this demon hand, the demon arm, and you could use it as a grappling hook throughout the game at certain points, and it just looks cool. He's got a demon arm. That's pretty freaking cool. He does have a pretty nice looking gun as well, and it actually stays in his hand. Not too bad. Does have a peg, and the peg on the hand is a lot more sturdy than the Dante one, and he can hold his gun pretty good. He does have a very nice looking sword. You can see that on the back. One of the cool features of the sword, in the video game, you actually revved it up and it just went crazy and caused all sorts of damage. It doesn't do that on this figure. It doesn't have any kind of articulation or movement of gears or anything like that, but it's just real nice paint job. You can see the nice design on the hilt, and then he's got the sword that comes all the way down with a nice darker tone throughout it too. So it looks really cool. Now we'll just pop this off, and it's attached via this same plug, similar to the same plug that Dante has. So you can just take that out. The hand is removable. He only comes with one extra hand, and it's a closed fist. And we'll just pop that right in. It has some rings, so it looks pretty cool. Now, the figure is, again, these two guys have some of the nicest jackets and material on their pants, the paint wash, the boots. They did such a great job on these guys. Again, check out the face sculpt. You know, it's kind of a pretty boy, but it's really cool looking. They did a great job capturing the figure's essence. Again, tons of detail on the vest, the jacket, his hoodie even. Really nicely done. Now, the articulation this guy has, again, ball jointed head, pretty good range of movement, going up and down. He does have a ball joint here at the chest. Pretty good range of movement, you know. You can move it up and down. He does have a ball jointed waist as well. He does have ball jointed legs, and these move a little better than Dante's. Dante's was pretty restricted to his pants. And he does have the ball jointed, double jointed knee, and it doesn't look too bad. Nowhere near as bad as a Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker double jointed knee. That looked just terrible. And he does have a swivel at the ankle, and he has a clicky little joint too. So this figure, you know, very similar to Dante. It just seems like a bit more of an upgraded version, more modern contemporary version. But the figure looks awesome. They did a fantastic job really capturing the character of these guys from the video game. And if you've never played Devil May Cry, do yourself a favor, pick them up. You can get the HD trilogy for probably about $40. And you'll have a hell of a good time with it. It's some very fun gaming. And we'll just slap this back on. And there you go. So these guys were probably one of the first two Player Kai figures that I've picked up. And now the Kai, of course, represents the bit better articulation, more design work, and just an overall better looking figure from the regular Play Arts figures that they produce in great quantity, the Square Enix Final Fantasy stuff. These two were the first. About 2 years ago I bought them. Really happy I have them in my collection. They're two phenomenal looking figures. I got two more to do. I got two two Halo figures I'm going to do next. And then I'm just going to do maybe a group shot of everybody. And then on top of that, we got some more reviews coming up. Mini-mates. We got some more Lego stuff coming up. And we're going to dive into the DC Universe just a little bit. I'm going to show off some of my stuff. Plus, I promised one of my subscribers I'm going to do a tour of my collection, how I got it set up in my place here. And I'll give you a brief run on that. And that's about it, guys. We'll see ya. Stay tuned. Rate, comment, subscribe. More reviews on the way. Take care.